What's up, GGs? Welcome to week 12, workout 1. So we are starting out with a lunge and an overhead broomstick stretch. So we're doing dynamic lunge on the bottom half. So just moving in and out of that lunge, and then at the same time, you're moving that broomstick around and over to your backside, keeping your arms completely straight. So as you're going into that deep lunge, you're moving the broomstick behind you. All right, just take a minute to try and figure out what I'm doing here, but once you get the hang of it, it's super easy. And you'll feel a good stretch in your shoulders and your back and also your hips. Okay, next up we're doing cat, cow, bird, dogs. This seems complicated, but you've done cat cows before, so just focus on doing the cat cow in the bird dog movement. So for example, you're moving an arm and an opposite leg up at the same time, but you're going to try and arch your back like you're in the cow position. And then when you go back and bring your arms and legs towards your midline, you're arching your back like you're in cat. You're doing 5 each side. So arm and leg up into cow. So you're going to bring your head up, stretch and arch your back. And then as you go in, you're contracting everything and you're getting into that cat position. Okay, these are shoulder cars. You can't see exactly where my hands are, but they were just in front of me. Then you're going to bring your arms around and behind. So you're going to lift them up in the air, and then as you're bringing them out and around, you're twisting them so that the bottom of your hand is facing up. Then you're going to touch the ground, bring them back up, and twist around so that your palms are facing up at the end. So really focus on feeling your shoulder move in that ball joint. So that's your shoulder connected to your clavicle or your chest. So you want to focus on moving and twisting that shoulder, rotating it, and getting the best mobility possible. Okay, now we're doing scapula push and pulls. So you're in tabletop position, and see how I'm only moving that area between my shoulder blades. So what you're doing is kind of flexing and relaxing the muscles between your shoulder blades. And that is super good for mobility and just stretching out those muscles where you can get knots and there's tension around that area. So this is a really good movement for that. So you're kind of relaxing into your shoulder blades, if that makes sense. So you're bringing all your weight down until your shoulder blades are poking out, and then you're arching back up, squeezing, and you're only focusing on moving the area between your shoulder blades. Okay, now we have dynamic knee over toe lunges. That's what KOT stands for, knee over toes. So this is really good to get some impact on your knee, work on that ankle flexion. It's also a hip stretch too. So keep that torso nice and upright, and you're just focusing on pushing that knee over the toe and then pushing from your toe to get back up into that upright position. So push with your toe, and that will get your quad engaged, so the muscle right above your kneecap. We want that muscle to start to get engaged as well and warmed up. And then we're warming up those joints and bringing some fluid to your knees and your ankles. So we have 8 to 10 each side. Okay, last one is a knee drive to an RDL. This is kind of like a leg swing, but a little bit slowed down and more intentional. So we're driving the knee up, squeezing the core, and then swinging that leg back. Notice how both of my knees are slightly bent. That's going to make it so it's not like tearing that hamstring as you're stretching it through. You're just working on that hip mobility and stretching out that hamstring at the same time. So we have 10 each side. Okay, let's get into the workout. So don't be scared that it says Bulgarian split squats. It's not terrible, I promise. You're only doing 10 each side. So find something that you can put that back foot on. I also put like a pad on it, so you can put a blanket or a pillow to kind of support your ankle. I would make sure that the box behind you is no more than 2 or 3 feet. And notice how I get into the movement to do the squat. So I'll kind of sit back onto my heel. You'll see here in a second. So I'll put my foot up onto the box, sit back, touch my knee to the ground, and then make sure that that working leg is at a 90-degree angle as it's bent. You want your torso upright and, well, I guess good posture, but also at a 45-degree angle forward. That's going to work your glutes more. And make sure to drive with your heel on the way up. Okay, next up are internally rotated lateral raises. It's not that intimidating, I promise. So what you're doing is you're bringing your wrists a little bit inward. I don't know if you can tell, but my wrists are not parallel to the ground. They're kind of in towards my body. All right, then we have 10 to 15 reps of front raises. So keep that core really strong and tight. And keep the elbows bent ever so slightly and drive those hands and wrists up to the sky. Okay, then we have squats with a bicep curl. So as you're squatting down, you're bringing those dumbbells up into that bicep curl, and it's also acting as a front squat. As soon as those dumbbells are in front of you, your core is insanely engaged, and it is a front squat. So squatting down until your hips stop, and then adding that bicep curl. Okay, we're doing heel elevated deadlifts. Don't let the word deadlift scare you. It's kind of a simple movement. So when the words move, you'll be able to tell that I'm standing on some books. So my heels are elevated about a couple inches. I have 2 books that I'm standing on. Then you're doing a suitcase hold. So your dumbbells are just beside you. And then you're doing a narrow stance squat, basically. Okay, next up are straight leg shoulder presses. So keeping those legs completely straight is working your core and your hip flexors. And then make sure you're breathing, but also keeping your shoulders a little bit in towards your midline. We don't want them completely straight out. It just protects your shoulders a little bit. We have 10 to 15 reps. Okay, last movement are RDLs using both dumbbells. So I want you to push your butt back like you're closing a car door while you're sliding the dumbbells down your thigh, down your knee, until you touch your shin, basically. Notice how my back is completely flat and my core is being squeezed. There's a lot going on. So I like to do a mental check from head to toe. So shoulders are neutral, back is neutral, core is engaged, then you go towards your butt, shooting backwards, your knees are bent ever so slightly, and the dumbbells are sliding down until you get a good stretch. And drive with those heels on the way up to really engage the glutes. Okay guys, back to Bulgarian split squats. Luckily, this is your last set. So get that work done. You can do it. Okay. Try and figure out how to set it up properly. So just kneel against the box that you're using and then kick out your foot 90 degrees. And then you're just kind of squatting down into that split squat, keeping your body upright, but also at a 45-degree angle, squeezing the core and driving with that heel on the way up. Okay, we have internally rotated lateral raises. So get those wrists pointed inwards and drive with your shoulders and the elbows, okay? Don't let those dumbbells go above your neck. Okay, 10 to 15 front raises. You want to be feeling this movement in the front part of your shoulder, so your anterior delt. Squeeze the core, you got it. Okay, then we have our squats with a bicep curl. Keep that core squeezed, As you're squatting down, lift those dumbbells up into a front raise or front squat position, but it's also a bicep curl. So 10 to 15 of these. Okay, heel elevated deadlifts. These are kind of fun, actually, once you get the hang of it. So get your heels elevated on something, carry those dumbbells right beside you in a suitcase carry, and just squat down like a narrow stance squat until your hips don't let you go down anymore. The heels elevated will help a lot more. Also, keep that body upright. Okay, 10 to 12 straight leg shoulder presses. So bring those dumbbells down as far as you can, and that's going to stretch out your shoulder even more. Whoop, whoop. You just got those RDLs, girl, and then you're done with the workout. 15 to 20, make sure you're going slow and controlled so that you can do that mental head check if everything is correct from your head to your toes, okay? Shoulders neutral, core is engaged, back is neutral, butt is going way back, hinging at the hips, dumbbells are sliding down your leg, your knees are bent a little bit, and you're driving up with those heels to get those glutes activated. But you did it! Today was a little bit of a shorter workout, but still very challenging. So be very proud of yourself, and I will see you a little bit later this week for workout number 2.